Hello. I am just back from the airport. I've just dropped Jane off and she's gone back to the UK for probably about 2 weeks, I should think. So until then, I'm all on my own. I am home alone, or Chateau Malone. Oh, that sounds like I've had an accident. So it's just me and the animals. So I've got absolutely nobody to talk to for the next couple of weeks. Oh, could be worse.
It's okay, because Bunty's here, Daddy, and we're going to do all the lovely cuddles and things together, Daddy.
Oh, hi there, my boyfriend. I just happened to lie down on my chair over here, my boyfriend. Human, get me a plate of nummies.
And we can sit here, Daddy, and we can kiss with tongues, and when you have your dinner, Daddy, we can share it.
Perhaps I will have somebody to talk to.
That's right, Daddy, and we're all sleeping in your bed as well, Daddy.
Today, Rory and I are going to be chateau chatting, you have to say that carefully, about toilets, loos, lavatories, thrones, if you will. We won't be potty-mouthed, but we will be mouthing about potties.
I suppose one thing I should say is that we're talking over the telephone, and therefore Jane's voice might not sound quite as normal as it should, because she is about 1,000 miles away.
Yes, so I've had to come back to the UK for work. So apologies if I sound a bit muffled or fuzzy. Yeah, so you've been doing some really arduous, challenging digging about in walls to achieve what sounds like a very mundane goal, which is to find and deliver 4-inch waste pipe. But it's absolutely critical to having wonderful toilets in the chateau.
That's right. And basically, if I can cut in,
please.
Basically the waste pipe is 4-inch waste pipe that comes out of the floor from the sewage system, comes out of the floor and goes up to the first floor. At first floor level, it reduces down to a 3-inch pipe and then goes up to the second floor. We want to have 2 showers, 2 toilets, 2 basins and a bath, all feeding into that one soil stack. So it really wouldn't have been acceptable to keep it at 3 inches. So I needed to move up to a 4-inch, and that meant uncovering the existing stack, which I knew because I'd found it on the second floor, the top of it, that it wasn't going to be wide enough. So I had to find it in the wall, and that was a whole thing in and of itself.
Yeah, it was absolutely heroic, I would say, digging into all those very stony, rocky, concreted in walls. And the thing is, there was no guarantee initially that the waste pipe that was there would be above where you might expect it to be, because those 3-inch pipes can twist around, they can go through bends, they can pop up in other rooms. So I think for a while you were digging around in walls just to get some idea of where the pipe was.
Well, yeah, it was really difficult, actually, surprisingly difficult, discovering its route.
But you remember you had to get your, what do you call it, the fibre optic camera to go down?
An endoscope. It wasn't a fibre optic camera, it's just a camera on a bendy stick.
To sort of, to try and find where it was going. I mean, it was all starting to feel a bit like it was a phantom pipe until eventually it was uncovered.
Yes! We found it! How tedious. Ow.
Okay. So it's there.
So that's where it is.
Yes.
It was straight down here,
Yes.
but I still think that doesn't match up with the fact that it ends up in the room next door. So I do think it's got to
Kink a
bend that
little
way
bit.
at some point.
Okay.
So now I've got to bash out all the way down.
Because you're going to have to replace it. Is that right?
Yeah.
So you need a channel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ow, that's twice now. Hit my thumb. That has not been as much fun as I thought it would be. I've banged 1, 2, 3 holes in walls that I didn't need to. I can blame myself, and I will, because there's nobody else to blame. Perhaps I should have measured a bit better. But I made a couple of assumptions that turn out to be not correct. So, I won't do it today, but the next job is I'm going to cut lines down this wall all the way to the bottom, and then I'll probably get my SDS chisel and take all of that out, trace it back down, hopefully in a bit more of a neater way, so that we can widen that gap, find where it connects to the 4-inch, connect new 4-inch, take it back up there, and then I can fit the new bathroom upstairs.
Whilst Rory was slowly demolishing the chateau, I went looking for my find of the day.
Welcome to Jane's Find of the Day with Jane.
Hello and welcome to this week's Find of the Day at Chateau de Pican. One find of the day that I was not expecting, I just went to my handbag to get some makeup out and found a bit of tuile in there, which is a sticky almond biscuit. What was that doing in there, you may wonder? Well, we went out for a meal and it was absolutely delicious and I couldn't finish my pudding, so rather than waste it, I thought I'd pop it in my handbag for later, and I did actually eat it the next day, but obviously missed a little bit of the biscuit topping. So has anyone else ever done that? It's all fine now though, honestly. But this is the find of the day. It's a jardinière, which I think means plant stand. Quite fantastic as a plant stand, I think you'll agree. When we arrived, it was covered and festooned with artificial ivy and various other artificial flower displays. So you couldn't see how beautiful it was until they came off. But here you have this wrought iron confection of leaves and roses and rose hips, all sinuously entwined around this wrought iron structure. Now, I always get mixed up between Art Nouveau and Art Deco. I think this is Art Nouveau. It came first, and you can generally tell, I think, because it's inspired by nature. So the designs are floral, botanical, natural designs, and it's got these convoluted, sinuous shapes, and it's made of materials that are either natural or inspired by the Industrial Revolution, so wrought iron rather than glass and steel, and really clean lines that you get in Art Deco, lots of geometry and straight lines. So I think it's Art Nouveau. It came first. I found an example very similar to this, I mean to say, almost identical design, slightly different colours, which was donated to the Brooklyn Museum, and that was dated as 1905. So that would fit with Art Nouveau. I imagine this same design has been made multiple times, but the original one would have been from the Art Nouveau period. It reminds me a bit of some curtains that I have, which are Charles Rennie Mackintosh. So he's an Art Nouveau person. And anyway, it's very, very beautiful. I absolutely love it, and I won't be parting with it.
It's really quite dusty in here, so I want my mask back on pretty quickly. I found the pipe, obviously. The waste pipe's coming down there, and the problem is I was hoping they'd just use plaster that's easy to cut through and easy to scrape out. However, it looks to me this is a form of concrete. It's got a lot of grit in it. It's a lovely hard grey colour, and it's a nightmare to cut out. But it has to come, so yeah, the job's dusty and tough, but we'll get there. Whilst I was doing that, Rory was doing this. Welcome to Purchase of the Week with me, Rory. So what have we purchased? Well, it's this beast. This is a Renaissance style sideboard or buffet or whatever. Whenever you see one of these online, it seems to have a different name. If it was a buffet, surely there'd be more room for things to put food on, and there isn't a lot of room. So I'm not calling it a buffet, although it was sold to us as a buffet. I think it's just a big old cupboard. It comes in two parts, and we've got this wonderful decoration to it. It's all proper wood decoration. However, there's a tiny bit here to show that bits of it have started to fall off. So we do need to be a little bit careful with the decoration on it. But it's a really lovely, solid, and really quite heavy piece. And we're absolutely thrilled with it. And I'll tell you why. We found on Facebook somebody was advertising a chair that they were offering for free. They tried to sell it, nobody wanted it. And then I saw it and they were just saying, come and take it away. So I was like, yes, please. And so we shot off down there, and it was only 5 or 10 minutes down the road, so it was brilliant. And we got there and we found this chair, and they said, what else do you want? They had a big barn and they had lots of other things inside the barn. And they said, do you want this? And they showed us this, and we were instantly taken by it. We thought, oh, it's brilliant. And so, it's a little bit tired. Perhaps there's a little bit of mold on it, so it needs a good clean and a good scrub. So we asked, how much do you want for it? And they said 40 euros. So we snapped their hands off, or bit their hands off, or chewed their toes off, whatever it is you say when you want something really badly. Yeah, we snapped their hairbands, twanged their nickel elastic to get this thing. And so we got it. But not only did that, so 40 euros got us this, and it got us the chair, which happens to be just there, which is why I'm referencing there. There is the chair by my skydiving rig. And we also got a free bed, which is a little bit further over there. So we got a free bed, free chair, and this wonderful thing for 40 euros. So we are thrilled with this. I've seen several pieces of furniture like this that have had quite radical makeovers. They've completely painted them an interesting blue or green. Or I've seen them with the doors taken off and glass shelves put in and lights, and they use as a drink cabinet, and they look brilliant. I've seen some really, really nice pieces that have had bold makeovers. So I don't know what to do. Do we follow that line and do a bold makeover, or do we keep it as it is? Because I like it as it is. I like the wood. But those pieces I've seen, I like them too. So, let me know your thoughts. Keep it like this, or do something exciting.
But I think we should also mention, because I know some people have asked, why have we referred to electric toilets? And I think the 3-inch waste pipe is something that people will use.
You're right. What the electric toilet is a macerating toilet. And it's effectively a bit like a garbage disposal unit, like the Americans tend to have in their kitchen sinks. So it's a device that churns up your waste and macerates it, if you will, and then it can go down a much, much thinner pipe because it sort of turns it all into a gloopy liquid, and then it shoots it down a much narrower pipe. So it doesn't need a 4-inch waste pipe, because it can go down 40mm waste pipe, and it's quite happy.
Yeah, but that conjures the whole horror of what we were left with, doesn't it? I mean, these macerated toilets that had been, first of all, not used for 12 years, then started to be used by the squatters.
Well, that's right,
then
yes.
Quite possibly, as part of the eviction process, the electricity was turned off and they were asked to leave, but they didn't leave, and they carried on using the toilets, perhaps wrongly imagining that somehow they were still going to work. So, that was what we were confronted with when we arrived.
We were met by black horror when we opened the toilet lids when we got here. It was really quite foul, and not to forget that these toilets were probably already around about 20 years old when the power was turned off for 10 years and weren't used for 10 years, because they're about 30 years old now, these toilets. So they've been through a lot. They've had chance to get old, get tired. The seals, their rubber seals, have had chance to perish, and so that left us with 2 of them leaking very shortly after the water and the power were turned back on.
Yes, so even after the valiant work that your sister Nessa did in terms of cleaning the actual bowls, there was still something really nasty going on. Seepage and smellage was still very much in evidence. So it was imperative to get those toilets as far away from the chateau as possible.
Well, because I neither want the toilet nor want to have to carry it all the way downstairs, I might just throw it out the window. That toilet has seen its last bottom. Thus passeth the smellieth toileteth.
So although I think you had, in a way, some kind of grudging admiration for the mechanism, and we eventually looked at one, because you said it was like a cheese grater. It's kind of quite a sort of thrashing around. This mechanical thing is somehow relatively impressive. But from a user point of view, there's nothing nice. It's really noisy as well. Mm-hmm. And yeah, it's just really good to be shot of them. Because everyone likes a comfortable toilet, don't they? They'd like to they don't really want to have to think about it. You just want to, it's clean, it's nice, it works, and then that's it. Nothing smelly. Yeah. Everything just washes away. Sweet smelling and fresh and lovely.
And on that note, we should move on to something else.
We should move on to something else.
And that's the new waste pipe in. So I'm very, very happy about that. That big stone there is actually from the wall, so it's an original building stone, but it's just there to help keep the pipe in whilst its glue goes off solid, because it wants to pull itself out of the wall a little bit. So I'll probably have to strap it in and then cover over it. Brilliant.
The moment that perhaps none of you have been waiting for.
So one question is, what's it worth? Well, I've seen it on sale but sold out at €280. I've seen it currently on sale for about €950, I think. And I've seen what I think is a very cheeky advert that says a pair for $9,500. So that seems massively over the top. You never really know whether there's a bit of money laundering going on or something's gone a bit odd, or maybe some people get a bit cheated. Anyway, I don't know exactly, but let's say a few €100. But as I've said before, I'm not going to part with it. It's absolutely beautiful. It looks great in this space, and yeah, it belongs here.